All right, guys, welcome to an emergency episode of On the Block. Joe here with Igor. Igor, so they've just officially announced that they're gonna. Is the word postpone the season?
I get suspended this season indefinitely.
So the season's gonna be suspended. Last game we played, Dallas just beat Denver by about 20 points or so. The Pelicans were scheduled to play the Kings. That game had just been canceled as well. Last time I checked, maybe like 15 minutes ago. And then there was the game, which we were just talking about off camera, was Rudy Gobert and the Utah Jazz, coronavirus victim Rudy Gobert and the Utah Jazz. Were supposed to play in OKC, and that game has been canceled as well. We've talked about playoffs. We've talked about the rest of the season. A few of the guys in the group chat. There's obviously some big games coming up. Lakers, Golden State, Bucks coming. As a Raptor season seat holder, I'm kind of wondering what's going to happen. I guess they're going to have to give money back. But Igor, do you think that this is something that they're going to have to play by ear, week to week, and see what happens? Or do you think that Silver and the NBA are just going to kind of say the season's done and we'll just start fresh next year, assuming that we survive this?
So, I mean, the situation I have is unprecedented in terms of the NBA canceling a season. I mean, we found out earlier about March Madness and they weren't going to have any time. I'm not even sure if that's going to happen anymore, again, because of the whole situation with the players. But, I mean, to me, I've heard different scenarios. I've heard, some people say that they'll go for 3 weeks and, they play a good portion of the games. For some teams, it's like, mid 60s already. And if you're in the playoffs, you're in the playoffs. Unfortunately, for those that aren't in the playoffs, the season is over. I don't think it's going to be a 2 to 3 week thing because I don't think this type of situation is going to be under control for a while. I mean, it could be months. So I don't know what the league would do in that if they would play in July or play in August or whatever it might be. But it's all in all, it's a scary situation. I mean, if you just look at some of the clips from the OKC game, you see, players running out of a situation. And going back to Gobert, I mean, I don't like to, throw guys under the bus too much, but you know what? He was lost in the situation, touching stuff that he shouldn't have been touching the microphone a couple of days ago. And, ironically, he's the one that ends up catching the first base. So should he have taken it more seriously and not acting like a goofball? 100%. I know a lot of people are going to blame him for the season being canceled and so forth. For me, again, he should get some of the blame, but I mean, I think it is a little bit ironic. But I think it was going to happen eventually that, these guys are in arenas with people all around. Someone's going to catch something because it's the cases, especially in the U.S., I don't think the U.S. is dealing with it quite the way that some other countries have dealt with it. Because I don't think they thought it was going to be big a deal as it's turning out to be. That their cases are getting higher and higher by the day. And it's turning into, again, a global situation where, again, even here, like, I know, like, we have jobs outside of doing this. I have no idea. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to do my job. Same with you. It's one of those situations that it's definitely a world changer. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with the league because I think a lot of these major sports events. I mean, same thing with the Olympics and the Euros later in the summer. Yeah, it's one of those things that the world's going to have to stand still and hope that it gets contained because this is a lot worse than any of the. I mean, the SARS epidemic killed quite a good amount of people, unfortunately, but it never got to this kind of level in terms of people getting contaminated so quickly and the numbers that they've got. So definitely a tough situation, and I think the league's in a tough spot. Like, you can't put the fans at risk, you can't put the players at risk, and yeah, I think it should be over. I mean, if I had to play, gamble on it, I would take the ball 50-50 that they would play the rest of any part of the season. I think that's probably the best number to put on it.
And I wanted to say, actually, when we started off the season, I forgot about it. The Raptors might be in a post-apocalyptic world, the last champions of the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be something. Hopefully not.
No, hopefully not. But as you know, I was at the Leaf game yesterday, and that's another one. I guess that was at the last Leaf game for the season. I don't know where to go with this. If you remember, obviously, Magic Johnson, when it was announced that he had, was it HIV at the time? It wasn't AIDS, it was HIV, right? A lot of players were scared to be on the court with him, right? They didn't know the technology back then. They didn't know too much about the disease. And now you got to think, just the fact that now a player is infected with Gobert. We talked about this before we actually started recording. We don't know much about the virus, right? There was some speculation from some people earlier. There are flu-like symptoms, respiratory symptoms, but we don't know really the long-term effects. They're working on vaccines. We don't know how long really you're infected for. The people that have come back from whether those cruise ships or China in Canada specifically, and they went to Trenton to be quarantined. I was even asking my dad, I was saying, like, with these people that are being quarantined, which Igor, we said this too, we don't know, how long does this virus, is it active in your body? How long are you, I guess, are you able to carry the disease? Because even like similar to strep throat and laryngitis, I've had a few of these things, right? Most of us have. You're, what's the word? You're contagious for a while, right? That's the thing. And like, what players are going to want to play if Gobert hasn't, right? Then who knows those teams that have it? At first I was kind of reluctant to say I don't know how long it's going to go on for, but now it seems almost a guarantee that maybe the regular season won't be played and probably the playoffs because they're not going to get this in check anytime soon. You talked about the Euros, we've talked about the Olympics. These are things 3, 4, 5 months down the road. These things are already being speculated being canceled. We've talked, of course, about all the soccer that we follow, a lot of the leagues being shut down, playing with empty stadiums. That's already happened. I think this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And this is, kind of chuckling right now, but who knows how bad this is going to get. It's actually getting pretty sad.
Well, I mean, if you just look at the state of Italy, like you mentioned, the soccer situation, you look at they've shut down pretty much the entire country's on lockdown. People aren't going to school, people aren't going to work.
They've suspended mortgage
The
payments.
country's on lockdown.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that's a situation where will it get that bad here in Canada? Hopefully not, but you got to think that if a few more cases start popping up and things start getting worse, that they're going to shut down anything where a lot of people would get together, which includes schools. I mean, all these concerts are already getting shut down. I know one of my friends that was supposed to go to I think the Zach Brown or some kind of concert that already got postponed. Nobody's risking coming out to these situations because, again, like you mentioned, we don't know how the virus really works. I've heard that again. You can stay on service for 9 months, or not 9 months, like 9 days, and yeah, you can have it without really knowing you have it until you start showing some symptoms. So it's one of those situations where it's like you said, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And yeah, it has everyone contemplating like their lives. You see what happens at the grocery store. Everyone's stocking up on toilet paper. I don't know why, but they're stocking up on toilet paper. Purell, all that stuff. It's one of those situations like you see in the movies where everyone's turning into a mentality, like a
Savage.
mentality where everyone's just thinking it's going to be the end of the world and we better stock up and be prepared and we're going to be stuck in our houses forever. It's crazy if you think about it because I mean, it kind of came out of the blue, but yeah, sports related stuff like any big get togethers. I mean, we mentioned your birthday on Saturday, shout out on your birthday.
Might be get postponed, man.
We got to postpone the prepared birthday party. We might take another consideration.
Yeah, we might need to get a steak on a bun somewhere else.
It's a great situation. As much as again, we try not to be too scared of the situation. It's it's the mortality rate is like I mentioned off camera. It's the situation is again most of the fatalities are elderly individuals that again don't have the immune system to fight off the disease. But even as a young person, it can leave you with some kidney issues, some serious health issues. So it's not something that I'm young and I'm
He was supposed to be here in a few weeks too, right? Just wrapping it up, saying his farewells to Toronto. He's not, might not be coming back.
They put him in the game in overtime when the game was pretty much done, and they gave him the ball because they wanted him to shoot his last three. Cause, and that might be it for Vince. So it's one of those, yeah, it was one of those crazy situations. You know, you're here in mid-March and you think, well, mid-March, and maybe even start a couple weeks, but nothing crazy will happen. And then, yeah, boom, and it's just shakes the whole foundation of the league and the whole sport. Because the NHL is going to fall through. I can't see the NHL not doing what the NBA did. I think it's a matter of time there too, if not tomorrow. So yeah,
MLS too. My cousin was just messaging me saying that he's going to the MLS soccer game on Saturday. Right? I was there last week, and I guess they're going to shut down too.
I would assume so, because you know what? I think anything with those, anything about 1,000 people gathering, I think that's going to be the prerogative going forward. They're going to shut things down, and that again, baseball hasn't even started. Baseball's supposed to start in a couple weeks. Like it's a lot of lost revenue, and I'm guaranteeing that teams are going crazy.
Well, yeah, they're going, but that's the last thing. But you want to say about 1,000 people? What about the everyday people like us that are going to work every day, taking the TTC like I am, taking subways that they say are getting wiped down? That's a lot more than 1,000 people, right? And what I wanted to touch on too, maybe a little bit off sports, a little bit, but you got to think all these cases that have been reported. How many of them? How many? Like for all we know, we could both have it, or one of us, or the people listening, because like we've heard you don't see symptoms maybe for 7 to 14 days.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe like we think that there's 100 cases in Canada. That's what I think I saw today on the news. Maybe that's somewhere more like 1,000, 10,000. Maybe because it's getting, like I said, in a week or two, showing symptoms, and then also actually being tested by a doctor to find out if you do have it, right?
See, at the end of the day, you got to think that. So let's say when we both work jobs where we interact with a lot of people. Like if you don't know that you have something and everyone's interacting with you, and then they catch it and they pass it on to their families and so forth, that's how these things spread into again a pandemic, which is what they basically called it today, because it's very difficult to explain something like that because one of the symptoms, and two, because everyone's moving around, and again, everyone leads busy lives where they're interacting with a lot of other people, you just never know, like, who has this and who has that. Like the Raptors, I can guarantee you, from Kyle to, the third,
Someone has it.
they are literally right now stopping their time.
They're doing what?
Because they literally had to play Gobert at that time and bumping with them and so forth. I guarantee you, I would not be stuck. Even guys like Leo and Zach who are on courtside, you never know how close the proximity is. The Dublin thing, they are a lot of them, I guarantee you, are really feeling it today because they're going to get tested tomorrow, 100%. And they are really like sweating it out because you just don't know. And the families too, the little got kids. I don't know got two little kids. Those are other things like their immune systems and stuff like that because they're children. Harder on this. So like it's a scary situation. I mean, I talked to one of my friends in New Jersey. He got a newborn kid, and lucky for him and his wife, can work from home. But again, they're getting a lot more cases in New Jersey. It's all over the place, and it's making people real scared to go outside and do anything. So I don't know. It's gonna be one of those really crazy situations. I don't know. Like people, I'm guaranteeing that you're gonna see a lot of people rush to the stores, getting extra food because they don't know what the situation's gonna be. And it's some scary stuff because you see this in movies all the time. You never think it's gonna be a reality.
The zombie stuff.
Right. But it's turning into a situation where if it continues to grow, it's gonna be mob mentality or Lord knows what kind of chaos that can happen through that. People, I saw a granny on social media fight someone for toilet paper. She was about to take her out because the other person was hoarding all the toilet paper, and granny wasn't having it and was about to box her one because of that. So I don't know. And people get crazy. People get absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting couple of months.
Yeah, and terrible start to 2020. I was gonna say, even just sticking with, I guess basketball, but we're talking, I guess, on a larger scale as humans. Honestly, like it just kind of hit me. I watched the Trump, he addressed the country today, and I don't want to talk politics, but a lot of people, I don't think that anybody really thought that it was going to get this out of hand. Watching that press conference, it kind of hit me a little bit, and they kind of talked about how, nervous he looked, because, obviously Trudeau hasn't said anything yet, hasn't said too much. But it's honestly really scary when everything kind of sets in and you realize when you're at home and you're quarantined, people were saying, oh, like at least we'll have, sports, look forward to catch a movie, whatever. But if that's not even being played, and they think that, those athletes who, like you said, are in top physical shape are also at risk, it kind of, opens our eyes and say, what about the rest of the world, from, newborns to the elderly? And
Exactly.
it's kind of scary, right?
Well, I think there's a lot of myths that go around in specific things. Like, for example, like, I don't know why people believe this, but when you see people wearing those masks,
Yeah.
that doesn't help you. The mask helps contain if you have a sickness so other people can't get it, but it doesn't help you from not getting other people's sicknesses. In fact, the mask actually brings in more of those germs because it's centralized. So I have no idea why everyone finds those masks. It's an old wives' tale about, grab the mask, it's protected. It really doesn't. So people have a different belief. A lot of people believe that coronavirus, 30% of Americans think it comes from corona fear. That's insane. Again, people need to get a little bit more education on specific things. But again, since we be prepared for the long haul of potentially not being able to really go outside for too much, that could be the case in 6 months to a year. Who the heck knows?
Yeah. It's,
Again, I'm vastly concerned about the situation because, again, everyone's livelihood. And it's me, you, everybody else. We all have to work, we all do different things. And if you're restricted, you're staying at home, it makes things pretty insane. And like I said, who knows where this is going to lead. But people really need to educate themselves and really need to get take precautions. Like I said, you gotta live your life. I'm always a proponent that you gotta live your life. You gotta, you only live once and so forth. But, be smart about your decisions. Don't be, if you're sick or whatever, stay home. Like, don't be trying to be a hero and like, if you think you even have a little bit of it, like, or getting sick, stay home, don't infect other people. And so forth. A lot of people go coughing on people, like the subway, for example, is an infestation. I personally don't use the subway to get to work. I think you do quite a bit. I wouldn't even risk going on a subway because the germs on the subway are all over the place. So I don't know. It's a lot of panic, man. It really is.
It's really scary. I think that's pretty much, we'll wrap it up there. Igor, if the world is still around on Saturday and everything's going according to plan, we'll have you in studio for we'll do another podcast, because there'll probably be an update by that point. Like we said, NBA season has been, at least we use the word postponed for now. Adam Silver just announced that. So the one last game that was played was the Denver and Dallas. Dallas won that game, and we do expect a lot of media, well, not actually media interviews, but Silver to address the media and kind of give us some kind of outlook on what's going to happen for the rest of the season. We're going to continue to monitor everything that's happening and give you guys our 2 cents going forward. That's going to wrap it up for us today on Wednesday, March the 11th. Igor, any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
I'm gonna go with the stay safe and have fun.
Stay safe and have fun. There, you heard it, Mr. Henriquez. All right, guys, stay safe. Make sure to use the sanitizer, wash your hands, and we'll see you guys Saturday on the next episode of On the Block. Take care and stay safe.